What is going on, everyone? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. You guys will probably be seeing this midweek, I would say, but today is Saturday for me, and it's Saturday morning. It's a nice, beautiful day. It's not hot, it's not raining down here in North Carolina. I love it. And as you guys can see behind me, there's no salty chicken in the garage. There's a little bit extra room. So this weekend for me is a busy week. We're making a lot of moves, and as you guys can see, we got the salted chicken loaded up on the trailer. One thing I do want to mention, PA Racing, tubular, K-member, chromoly, everything. Ordered it with little tie-down hooks. Love them. They are the best. They are absolutely badass. Strained engineering brakes, still my favorite thing on the car. I don't know, it's gonna be tough to beat those. It's gonna be very tough to beat. But we got everything loaded up. Got the chicken on the trailer, got its flat tire, kind of flat tire, rocking there. And we got the whole front end sitting in here, just chilling. Hopefully it doesn't blow away. But I said we got a busy weekend going on. Right now I'm headed up to the shop. We are going to build the long block for the cow. Ryan and Nick are up there, and Ryan is going to teach me. I'm a little nervous because he said, I'm just going to tell you what to do and you're going to do it. But I have Nick there to help me actually do it. Nick is a great hand at the shop. Some of the things that he's going to be doing, like I know for one thing for sure, he does a ton of trunnion upgrades. So trunnion or the rocker arm upgrades. I have him hammer those out all the time at the shop. So I'm like, Nick, I got a job for you. Trunnion upgrade. He's like, oh dude, got you covered. So I'm excited up there. We'll get some video of everything. But yeah, I mean, this is a little bit, you know, with a lot of behind the scenes stuff I haven't shown was like cleaning of the parts and the tear down of the short block to go to the machine shop. You guys haven't seen it since it's been reassembled, the short block itself with the pistons, rods, and crank in it. I'm also, in either this video or the next, you guys are going to hear the winner of the crankshaft that I'm going to sign. I also have 2 rods that I'm going to give away. So if you want a chance to win these rods, go down in the comments, drop a comment, give this video a big thumbs up, and you'll automatically enter to be in 2 winners for that. I have 2 different rods. I'll sign them and send them out to you guys. So yeah, we're going to put everything together, and then we're going to have the engine assembled. I got to go down the road and pick my transmission up from Mike sometime next week, get my converter back, and then we have everything to put the car back together. So let's get in the truck and let's head up to the shop. So I got a couple minutes before Ryan and Nick get here. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what's involved with putting this block back together. The block was okay. We did have to line hone it, but the block itself was good. 6 rods were good. Because I'm going to a 4-inch stroke crankshaft, I had to get new pistons, 2 new rods, and 1 new crankshaft, along with all new bearings. He had to put new cam bearings in it. I'm going to run the same camshaft. That's our RPM Motorsports Do-It-All cam. It's a really good camshaft. I run it in cars that are NA. I had it in my car when it was NA. Made 476 wheel. Put boost on it. It's an absolute monster. We run it in the ZL1s. We run it in LS3s with Whipple on it. It's something, if it's an automatic car, you can run a stock converter with it. It is literally probably the most well-rounded camshaft out there that still makes power. You can daily drive on it. You could race it. You could put it in a race car. I mean, you could do whatever you want with it. So we're going to reuse that cam. We're going to reuse my ported LME LSA heads, that's a mouthful, and then GM LS9 head gaskets, and we're going to go to head studs this time. I know last time some people gave me shit about the head bolts, but I never had an issue before, but being that we're going to maybe push a little bit harder, I don't know, probably against better judgment we will, we're going to go with an ARP head stud kit. Like I mentioned before, we're going to do a trunnion upgrade, and then all the other fun things that you need. Like, for example, just so you guys know, it's not just like slapping metal on metal. There's a bunch of gaskets, rear seal, front seal, rear cover, front cover. We've got the head gaskets, we got the oil pan gasket, we got water pump gaskets. I mean, these 10 and 20 and 30, $40 gaskets, they all add up. Guys, try not to touch the camera too much. I look like, yeah, I'm a little gross right now. But we've been up here working. Nick's been helping me getting everything, the rest of the parts that I haven't cleaned, getting them cleaned up. So as you guys can see right here, we got the windage tray and the oil pan taken apart and then cleaned up. And this head gasket, this head needs to be cleaned up, remove all of the rest of the gasket material that's stuck on there, which we just finished doing to this guy. A little help from Nick and his guidance, showing me the way. And as you can see, this one is much cleaner than the other one. And yeah, almost ready to go back together. We just got to clean the other head, and then got to do our trunnion upgrade, which I was telling you guys before, this is the trunnion expert. Nick has a degree in trunnions. And how many of those have you done in like the past like 2 months?
2 months.
Done like a lot. We've been selling a lot of those. I really like those.
Yeah, I can't even count.
So this is what the head looks like before. We'll show you guys a little before and after. And pretty much what we're removing is all of the, I don't know if it'll focus, but you guys can see here. Yeah, it's kind of focused like
the yogi stuff on my hand.
Yeah, it's just like the gross leftover gasket. Like you can see here, if you scrape at it, you can clean it up. And this is how it's done right here. Little white wheel, go over it. Alright, so we got the heads and everything all cleaned up, oil pan cleaned up, and the windage tray. No more metal. There's a lot of metal in there before. We go over here, we got Nick playing the air guitar, and we got our engine. So we got it wrapped up. As you can see, some Weisco pistons. You can't see the rods or the crank, but I can promise you it is in there. Everything's all assembled. And we go over to our parts. We got our head studs, push rods, all our GM gaskets, oil pickup tube, old bolts and all that stuff like that. And then we got the rocker arms and a Jeff short. What's going on?
Nothing.
You are here to
say hi.
Build this motor in 5 minutes?
Nope.
I think we're ready to put this thing together. Well, how long is this one gonna last?
Hopefully a couple more years.
The last one was really good to me.
Yeah.
And we'll see if this one, I'm already like thinking about running 470s in the 8th with this. So, I'm excited. I guess we're gonna get this thing together, get the heads on there, and then wrap it up. We'll see you. Have fun adulting.
Alright everyone, we're back. So we pulled the motor out of the plastic bag, and it turns out that these aren't as clean as we want them to be, as you can see. So John is over on this side with some brake clean Scotch-Brite action, trying to get most of it off, getting it pretty smooth. Doing a pretty good job, John.
We want a nice marriage between gasket and block and gasket and cylinder head.
Yeah, so basically we do this, this is all pretty much old gasket. We do this to get the rest of it off and get a good seal.
So we got the block all cleaned up. Nick and I hammered that out. Next we're going to do the trunnion upgrade. So pretty much what we're going to do is, we'll show you guys how we do it, but we're going to replace, see this part that rocks, got a bunch of bearings in there. We replace that and we strengthen it. And you know, there's some cases that this bearing will come apart. We said one recently, you know, over rev, something like that, it'll come apart. And there's, I think, 66 bearings in here in each side. And I think there's 33 in each side, so 66 total. And it'll send it through the engine. I don't know if you can see. It's all blurry. This camera, I apologize if it's not focusing. This camera's struggling to focus right now. We do a cam upgrade. If you're doing a real big cam, I recommend doing a trunnion upgrade. It's like 150 bucks or something like that. And we're going to hammer it out. Literally, hammer it out.
So we get the comp trunnion kit, and what we do is the first thing, we actually got this tool. This one's made by Powerhouse, as you can see, but comp also makes their own. Take the tool, set the rocker like this, and then put the other piece right here. I'm gonna take this hammer, give it a couple good whacks, pull this tool out, throw away the insides, the guts of the rocker, needle bearings and whatnot, and then you got your shell-less rocker ready to go into the trunnion.
Alright guys, so we have the windage tray on. Being that we went with a 4-inch crank up to a 4/16 stroker, you need to space the windage tray, which is what we're doing. I'm going to start getting the engine together, going from a short block to a long block, so we're going to hammer that out while Nick finishes up the trunnion kit. Alright, so we got the windage tray on and spaced. As you guys can see here, we put these little washers in there because, like I was saying before, the longer stroke of the crankshaft will hit. Next, we are going to, there's a number of ways you could put an engine together. We're going to put the camshaft and the lifters and everything else in there and get everything on the front on. And while this was getting done, Nick finished up on the trunnion upgrade, got everything all pressed in there, and as you can see, I mean, they just look a lot burlier and stronger than the factory ones. So I guess there's nothing else to do but get started and get this knocked out. Alright guys, so we got a decent chunk done so far. We got pretty much the whole front end of this, the internals done. We got the camshaft in there with the cam retainer plate, some new bolts. We got our timing chain, timing gear, our oil pump. Nick was helpful enough to get that all lubed up. And then we got our pickup tube on, our windage tray. And then we got the lifters in there, as you guys, I'm not sure if the camera's rolling, I doubt it was. But the lifter's been soaking overnight, just LS7 style lifters, put them in the lifter trays, put them in there, and we're good to go. So I'd say a decent portion of the bottom end has been going in there. And we got to get everything ready for we got to put the bolts in there for the lifter trays, and then start buttoning everything up, get ready to put some heads on. Alright guys, so we got a decent chunk done so far. We got pretty much the whole front end of this, the internals done. We got the camshaft in there with the cam retainer plate, some new bolts. We got our timing chain, timing gear, our oil pump. Nick was helpful enough to get that all lubed up. And then we got our pickup tube on, our windage tray. And then we got the lifters in there, as you guys, I'm not sure if the camera's rolling, I doubt it was. But the lifter's been soaking overnight, just LS7 style lifters, put them in the lifter trays, put them in there, and we're good to go. So I'd say a decent portion of the bottom end has been going in there. And we got to get everything ready for we got to put the bolts in there for the lifter trays, and then start buttoning everything up, get ready to put some heads on. As you can see, we're putting the head studs in, a little bit different than head bolts. So what you do on these, if you guys aren't familiar, so you're going to put a nut on the outside, so this should produce more clamping force. So what you do is you walk these all the way down until they bottom out, and you turn them back a quarter turn. And then they have the little bolts up top as well. Nick is over here getting the front and rear cover seals put in there. As you can see, this is the rear cover with the rear cover seal, and I got the rear cover gasket somewhere down there. So we're moving right along. Once you get the heads on, this is really the important part. Get everything torqued down correctly, do it in steps. So if you're torquing down to 90 foot-pounds, don't just go to 90, go to like 30, 70, then 90. I don't think it requires 90 foot-pounds, but yeah, this is the important stuff. So we'll definitely show you this as we go along. Alright, we got the head studs on there. Now we've got to throw the heads on and put the bolts in.
Darling,
Alright guys, as you can see, it's a little dark here. We are shutting down for the day. Got the heads on and everything like that. We discovered that the front cover was actually broken. Looks like something might hit something up there. We know there was a little bit of carnage, and it's kind of one of those things where got to stop progress. Get a front cover here early next week, get the engine finished up, go pick up the transmission, get the converter. Now, I was trying to race Thursday. I don't think I'm going to make it. We got that list race this Thursday, so hopefully it rains. They're calling for rain Thursday. If it rains, it'll buy me a week. I should be up and running by then, but I'm dying to get back at the track. I mean, this car has been so good to me. If you think about how much I beat on it, it's been so good to me, and I'm looking for another little stretch like that. So, like always, check out RPM Motorsports. We were up here working on the car today. Big shout out to them. Check them out on YouTube, check them out on Facebook, and check out their website, get some RPM merch. Check out my stuff I got in the link below. I got my shirts and key tags. Other than that, we'll see you guys next time.